I ran cross country the last 2 years of my high school career, and it was the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. And I could have taken it easy, and not push myself or whatever. But when I joined, I was like, I'm going to be the fastest I can, run the hardest I can, leave it all out there. And cross country, the biggest part about it, obviously, is the races. You do all this training to go race and then see how fast you've gotten. And I already have a ton of anxiety just by default. It's something I deal with literally every moment of every day. I'm always anxious. But the amount of anxiety I would face as I'm standing there at the line getting ready to run, because you're standing there with, your whole team, all the other teams, and you're just waiting for that gun to go off, and they're just holding a gun up in the air, and you're waiting for it to fire. And as soon as that thing fires, you go, and you don't stop until the end of the race, which was usually like 18 minutes or so for me. And so the it got to a point where I fucking despised race days, because the it's everything's pretty much fine up until you go to stand on that line and you're getting ready to, run. And it applies to real life as well. It's you got things that you want to do, but you're too scared, and you're standing right at the line. You're getting ready to go, and but your mind is messing with you. It's just making you think all these things. Maybe I'm not good enough. What if I get hurt? What if I fall on my face? What if I embarrass myself? What if there's a million things going through your mind? And of course, they're all not good things. They're all, you're, it's worry. Wiz Khalifa has an amazing quote that says, "Worrying is like going outside with an umbrella and waiting for it to rain." There's nothing you can do about it, but you can't, it's so hard to stop your mind from, spiraling out of control. And but once that gun goes off and I start running, like literally as soon as that gun goes off and I start going, I have no thoughts in my head anymore other than let's go, let's fucking run. We're doing this. You go into like a primal instinct of you're not even thinking, you're just acting. And I think that's also very applicable to real life. It's so scary to start something new, to be standing at the line waiting to go and have your opportunity. And it eats people alive. It eats me alive. And it's, you eventually have to get to a point where you're like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like literally it doesn't matter. Something I've come to realize, and it's taken me 24 years to realize, is it literally doesn't matter. Like people's opinions of you doesn't matter. It's the only reason it would ever affect you of what someone thinks of you is if you let it. So being too scared to do something because you're afraid of what your mom and dad are going to say, or your friends are going to say, or what if my girlfriend breaks up with me because I don't have enough time for her, or what, all these things that just, and to be honest with you, they just end up sounding and acting like excuses. And it's something, we all do, and it's hard to get away from. But what I'm trying to get at with what I'm telling you with this story is, you have to just go. You have to let that gun go off and fucking go, and trust that you will figure it out. Humans are, we are so adaptable. And if you believe in evolution and all that stuff, then we have always found a way to survive, even when all of the other species, for the most part, 99% of all living things were wiped out from Earth multiple times through asteroids, through the world freezing over, or massive heat, or whatever. From what we can tell from science, everything's been reset, but we're still fucking here. We still made it. And I have great confidence that no matter what humans run into, if it's either we all die and we're done, or we figure something out, like back against the wall, we will figure it out. And that's true for an individual. If you truly back against the wall need to do this shit, if you have a wife and kids and it's like you guys are up to your neck in debt, you're about to lose your house and all your shit, and you just wake up one morning and you're like, I'm going to start fighting back. I'm not going to let fucking the world and the fact that I don't have money and all this shit tear me down. I'm going to fight back. That's the thing, is once you start hitting back, you realize you're stronger than you thought, and you can hit harder, and you can go longer, and you can try more. And if you fail, it's such a small thing in the grand scope of, life. A failure is not the end of all times. It's only the end if you let it be the end. The failure should be happening a lot. And if it's not happening, then you're not trying. That's for me for posting these videos. If people aren't watching and people are hating on it and people are okay, well, at least I'm doing something. At least I'm trying. I'm going out there and I'm putting my effort in and I'm trying to make something happen. And that's the thing, is most of the time when people are going to be looking down on you and making fun of you and whatever, it's literally because subconsciously they're not doing shit with their life, and they see you making strides to do what you want to do with your life, and they want to shut that shit down. you know it's the same thing like with cross country, and having a teammate that's always kind of belittling you because he's intimidated of the fact that you could come up and be faster than him, and you could, and it wouldn't even take that much compared to what he had to put in. It's all connected. But once, back to the cross country thing, once I was in the race, and you hit mile 1, you hit mile 2, hit mile 3, and you're getting very close to the end, you can literally see the finish line. I'm telling you, I have no energy left in my body. I have exuded everything, but I have this last quarter mile straight stretch and I can see the end. I'm telling you, your body brings out this part of you didn't know was there, and you can go harder than you went the whole time. You can finish strong. And like my very first cross country race, I was running I ran with the dude that I was not supposed to be with. Like, he was, with our like practice times, he was running his 5Ks like 2 minutes faster than me, which for a 5K and trying to keep up with someone 2 minutes faster than you, that's ridiculous. You can't do that. But I did it on the first race. I ran with this dude all the way to the very end. We got to the last quarter mile stretch, and I'm literally, my vision is going blurry. Like, I can't see. I'm starting to wobble, but I can see the finish line. And I don't even remember crossing the finish line. I don't remember finishing the race, but my teammates were waiting for me at the end of the race, and I crossed the finish line and literally like passed out across the finish line. Like, I fell on the line, and my teammates caught me and they took me over to the medical tent where I was there with a nurse, and I was throwing up, dry heaving. I literally had so little energy. I'm not kidding. I could not hold my own head up. I had to have people hold my head up so I could drink stuff. Like, I used every ounce of my energy. But what I learned from that experience was your body can do so much more than what you think you can and what you let it. It's just, you have to get out of your own way, and you have to not be afraid, again, of falling and failing and passing out and maybe making yourself look like a fool. But eventually you'll get there where that no longer has to be a thing. And you'll look back on the times where you were doing that shit and you're like, I did that, dude. I fucking ran until I literally could not move anymore. And it's the same thing with anything that you're trying to do. If you keep at it, you keep going and going and going, you will make it. You will get where you want to go. You have to be determined and you have to see it through. You can't, you know, and you have to be always willing to take a failure on, the shoulders and move on and learn from it and not let it dwell and hold you down. So the whole point of this whole story is, I'm trying to say, everybody's got their race in life. You know what it is. I know that you listen to this video, there's stuff that you want to do, that you have dreams and things you want to make happen, but you're holding yourself back. And I'm just trying to tell you that if you cross that line and you start that race, it will be very quickly, and you will be shocked as the fact of all these new ideas and new thoughts you have and the new hope you have for amazing things. But the thing is, you have to start. You have to, and don't be so like you just throw yourself in the deep end. Like, you just immediately, like, if you want to start running, you're like, I'm going to go run a 5K every day for the next month. That is not the way to do it. It's slow, incremental steps. Work your way up, get your shit moving, and you'll get where you want to go. But don't dwell on it. Don't overthink it. Don't do too much planning. And now you've spent years debating it and thinking about it, and you've wasted all this time, because that is the main thing. The more time that you put in, the sooner you start and the sooner you get shit moving, the sooner you're going to get where you want to go, and you're going to learn the lessons you need to learn and have the experience you need. So start that race. Don't be afraid to cross that line, and trust yourself and trust in the history of humans that you will be able to do it if you keep at it. If you don't stop, you keep pushing and pushing and pushing and trying new things and not being let down by failure. You will get where you want to go. I promise you, you know? So don't be afraid. Do what you want to do. Don't think about other people's opinions and trust in the fact that you can get this shit done.